Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 195.
Bienvenidos! Mi español es muy guapo.
Garrett learned how little he knows of Spanish,
bro,
over the past week.
And Dominicans talk so fast. Oh.
Guys, welcome to the studio for episode 195 of How About That Cigar Live. Take just a moment, if you would, please. Share us out to your favorite Facebook cigar groups. Let them know we're live so they can watch along and comment and question and all the good stuff right along with us. And as always, let us know in the comments what you're smoking and drinking. Thank you so much for watching live on Facebook and live on YouTube. And, of course, if you're listening on the audio podcast, thanks so much for making us a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. The Minnesota Wild are rolling right now.
What is happening?
It is such a good time for them to be playing well. They're still in that.
They did drop one last night. Or the night before. 5-4 to
Sunday.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah. Saturday pissed me off. So the game against the Sharks on Saturday, they won the game, but there was a goal that the Sharks scored, put that in quotes.
Saw the highlight.
That should have been goaltender interference.
100%.
I mean, it was ridiculous how bad they missed that goaltender interference. And as you guys can see on the screen right now, don't forget, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook and all of the clicky things with the likes and the hashtags and this the stuff that all the young cigar smokers are saying these days. You know how all that stuff goes. Just do it. Aaron Rodgers is still living in a state of limbo. We don't know if he's still a Packer. We don't know if he's a Jet. We know now that he's not going to be playing for the Raiders. I thought that he was going to go to the Raiders, but now
he was go to New Orleans.
The Raiders pick up Jimmy Garoppolo. Derek Carr goes to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he's going to be a Jet. I don't know if he's going to stay with the Packers. I don't know if he's going to retire.
Come to the Vikings. I mean.
I think we could be sure that's not happening. He's got to play for the Jets for 2 years first.
That's right.
And then
he'll go to the
Vikings. That's what Packers quarterbacks do.
If that happens,
Matt Tobacco says, how much did Garrett Robinson eat in the DR?
So much.
Yeah.
So much bro, Juan Lugo's mom is not only she's an incredible woman for so many reasons, but she makes goat like that's all I could eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Cabrito for days.
Goat is one of my favorite things to eat, and it's very hard to get in the States.
It is.
It's very hard to get in the States, but when it's made well, it's outrageously good.
Yeah.
So, spring training for our favorite baseball teams is still underway. The Twins are looking outstanding, and not just from a hitting standpoint.
We've got pitchers.
We have pitchers. Now, are we still going to have pitchers in June, July, and August? Will they all be on the injury rotation?
Yeah.
And will Byron Buxton is he injured yet?
I think because you just said that.
He just
Byron
Buxton just got
You
injured.
heard it here.
So he'll be out until mid-May, basically. we don't know. We wish him the best, but he's injury prone. But when he's on the field, he's lights out.
Yep.
So hopefully he will stay healthy. But guys, it is time for our main event of the evening, and we're so excited to have this special guest back on the show. He's been on the show a few times. He's a guy that we get to learn from about pairings. We get to learn from him about different ways to enjoy cigars, and he's got a great way about him, that we can learn from him. And also we just love chilling and learning about each other's families and stuff like that. So let's get into the main event. And as always, guys, special guests on How About That Cigar Live are brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. And let's remind you about the all-new Acid Cubariety 3-packs, specially designed to both broaden the palette of acid cigar enthusiasts and expand awareness of the full Drew Estate product portfolio. The Cubariety 3-packs also present on-the-go consumers with tremendous value. For the price of 2 Acid Cuba Cubas, purchasers receive 3 cigars in total with a free Undercrown Shade cigar included in the pack. They are all Robustos and are all packaged inside resealable fresh packs with Boveda humidification pouches to ensure they remain fresh until they are enjoyed. With an MSRP of $21.90 per pack, the Acid Cubariety 3-packs from Drew Estate are available now, so check out those at your local retailer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please put your hands together and welcome to episode 195 of How About That Cigar Live from Barrels and Leafs, Leo Brown.
My man.
Leo Brown, welcome back to How About That Cigar Live, man. Always great to see you.
Man, I love seeing you guys, man. Always great to talk to you guys. Thank you for inviting me back for this great episode of 195. I feel like the last time we talked, we were probably the first time we talked. We were on a bad side of things. We were talking about the whole civil unrest, should we say?
Yeah.
But I definitely you guys, man, as always. And hey, man, let's get into it. Whenever you guys are ready, man. What do you want to ask? What do you want to know?
Well, the first thing we have to ask, because we know that you're a big pairings guy, and we love that here at How About That Cigar. So first thing we want to find out is what you're smoking and what you're drinking and where you're broadcasting from.
I am smoking the Lampert 1675. I'm not sure if everybody can see there. This is their, what is this one? I forgot the exact one. This is the Edition Azul, and decided to put this one with a little Yingling beer.
Oh.
So it's going very well. It gives me a little bit of a smoothness from the beer with a little bit of the earthiness from the cigar. So kind of a contrast, but on the finish, very, very good, man. Very good. And lastly but not least, I'm in Atlanta. I'm in the ATL, man.
The ATL.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit. You relocated. And it's relocated. You're still in familiar surroundings. It's not like you're unfamiliar with Atlanta, but tell us how the move went and how you're getting all settled in back in Atlanta now.
Yeah, my daughter asked me to come back to Atlanta, and I thought it was a thing to spend more time with her. Be with her on a day-to-day basis, and whenever she wanted. So that makes me feel great about what I made the move for. And the relocation part it was different. I spent a lot of time in the military, and relocating with the military is totally different. A lot of things are happening for you, things are in place, and you move around and you just do things, which is fine. But when you're doing it on your own, it's a total different ball game, man. I mean, you're in it by yourself. So, with that being said, coming back to Atlanta, familiar territory, but not. I mean, this place has changed. I spent 12 years in San Diego. So coming back to Atlanta after 12 years, yeah, man, nothing the same place at all. So still getting to know the area, still getting familiarized with what's going on, who, getting into the cigar scene has been the big thing. So, trying to understand how Atlanta works, with cigars, understanding how the cigar lounges work here in Atlanta. They're happening, all things are happening. It's a total different ball game than coming from San Diego, because San Diego's more laid back, relaxed, enjoying themselves, having fun, have an event here, have an event there, but not every freaking weekend. This is a total change. It's a total change. There's something going. Listen, from Monday to Saturday, there's something normally going on somewhere. So
yeah,
it's just the way it is, man. I mean, like I spent more money here than I did in San Diego, and San Diego costs more.
Yeah.
So it's but no, it's okay, man. It's cool. Just trying to get adjusted, understanding what the scene is all about, and getting to see some of the people that I've only seen, through social media, online, stuff like that. Getting to see them more on a day-to-day basis or face-to-face time, and bringing things together. That's really what I've been doing.
Nice. I love it. Well, I just finished up my pregame cigar. Yep. And it's time for me to get into my main cigar of the evening.
Yes.
I grabbed these Davidoff Signature number ones, which is the nice Lancero size. So that's the Davidoff Signature number one right there. And I'm going to get this fired up right now while Garrett tells us about the lovely Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Toast Cam.
When lighting your cigar, it is important to be patient, pay close attention to detail, and focus on the tobacco. In the same way, Steve Saka brings those same qualities to the ultra-premium cigars of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Patience, close attention, and focus on the tobacco are the qualities that Saka and Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust have become known for. From Sober Mesa to Umbagog, Dunbarton has a blend that will fit your palate, your mood, and any occasion. Visit DunbartonCigars.com to learn more.
There we go. There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. Bring it in.
You did it.
And I am pairing my Davidoff with a LaCroix Limoncello, which is the best of the LaCroix line.
Oh, and Garrett brought me back this bottle from Dominican Republic, and I got to look back at it. It's Brugal, isn't it? Brugal.
Yeah, Brugal.
Dominican rum, extra añejo. And had a little trouble pouring it out of the bottle. Finally figured it out. Apparently, it had a child-proof cap on it or something. But this stuff is just dark and rich, and it's got a super thick viscosity to it. It smells like butterscotch and honey, and it's just, and the flavor is absolutely incredible. Tons of natural sweetness, and honestly, the very first puff of this Davidoff is just ridiculous. So I think this is going to be a good pairing. Now, Leo, one of the things you mentioned that getting, because you were in San Diego for so long, you get back and Atlanta's changed, and were there certain hotspots that you were in love with back in the day, whether it was restaurants or that kind of thing that. And I'm sure you learned over the years, from different friends on social media. It's like, oh, this place closed, or whatever. But hopefully some of your favorite hotspots for food were still around. So what are some of your favorite hotspots for great food in the Atlanta area?
Come on, man. Waffle House. No, I'm just kidding. No. So no.
Good night, everybody.
No, Atlanta has a lot of places, man, to eat. And I hate to say it this way, but I left Atlanta. Very similar to when I left San Diego, So getting back here, man, finding some places to eat. Now, probably right now, one of the favorite places for me is a place called Fleming's Steakhouse.
Oh.
And it's a little pricey, right? But let me tell you something. When you get great customer service, price doesn't really matter.
Yes, sure.
And we know, going into cigar lounges and you get the good customer service and people taking care of you, checking on you, making sure that your drink is good and refilled, and how's the food. This place is just absolutely phenomenal, man. I mean, I get the greatest service every single time that I go in there. You go in there for happy hour, it's the same service every single time that you go in there. So I love Fleming's Steakhouse and always shout them out every time I go, give them a great review. So if you guys are ever in the Atlanta area, check out Fleming's Steakhouse. some of the other places, really, man, I mean, like I said, I mean, eating is just one of those things. I do a lot more eating at home now than going out. So, you know, I would say some of the dishes that I'm making, I'm always doing a Taco Tuesday. Tomorrow is going to be a great day for Taco Tuesday.
Yes.
Or into eating a little bit better meat. I'm using a lot of turkey now. So that's been a change. Slimmed down a little bit because of it. But also, man, I mean, just eating at home, just saving money a little bit so I can spend a little bit more on cigars, you know. Probably the biggest thing I do is probably hit up a lot of the cigar lounges, man. That's been my main focus. Food in the area. I mean, I always love a good Chinese food. And there's a place right next door here. I love the Vietnamese food. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. Real chicken. The carrots are cooked just right. The beans are cooked just right. Very few onions. I love me some rice, man. I mean, I'll eat rice all day long. But, you know, I mean, I'm not really that big of a foodie. I mean, you put a plate in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
Have you spent any time in the Duluth area?
I lived close to the Duluth area back in the day.
Okay, so do you know about Koreatown?
Yes, I do.
All right, so that is what set the standard for me for Korean food. We don't have anything like it in the Twin Cities, and I've only had decent Korean stuff in Vegas that compared to what I had in Atlanta or in the Duluth area. Their Koreatown, like I was there for a week for training work several years ago. My gosh, the kimchi and the Korean barbecue.
You lost me at kimchi, brother. You lost me at kimchi. Listen,
oh, you don't dig on kimchi? I love kimchi. I love it.
Let me tell you. So I was in the Navy, right? You guys probably just may not. I was in the Navy for 20 years. And we got a chance to go to Korea, right? So I'm this young guy. Everything I did was, you know, at the front of the boat, if you will, as we're coming into a port. Basically, the rate was called bosun's mate. So we moored the ship and all of that good stuff. So as we're coming through the channel, I got the guys telling me, say, hey, man, get ready for this smell. And I'm like, what smell? And all of a sudden it hits you. And it literally smells like shit. Now, mind you, we have about a good 15 minutes going through this channel to get to the pier. So I'm smelling kimchi the entire way, bro. No, listen, you're better off eating kimchi by yourself.
Well, it does linger. It does linger.
But it's like, do you like chillins?
Hell no. Listen,
right,
I don't want none of your insides. I know what I'm putting in mine. You don't want this.
And I know what it's like when it comes out.
Right.
Okay, you're not a foodie. I get it. But Korean barbecue. Okay.
Yeah, Korean barbecue is
great. I love Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
All right, we'll agree there.
Well, and you said Vietnamese place, so they have a common food in Vietnamese places is pho, that soup with the broth and the
Dude, this place has the best broth. I can just drink it by itself.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic. I love it.
All right, I'm there. That is my desert island food. Is pho.
Huh? Okay.
Yep. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
I got a place for you, man. Whenever you hit Atlanta.
All right.
Oh, love it. So you've also got some, because with the move and everything, you didn't walk away from cigars. You didn't walk away from barrels and leaves, but things got a little quieter, understandably so. But you're kind of relaunching a little bit right now, and even with a new co-host, if you will. So tell us about that, because that's a very exciting thing.
Yeah, my man Nick Vaughn, which you guys threw up his comment on there. Thanks, Nick, for coming in on this with me, man. This is going to be a hell of an adventure. There's a lot to learn from Nick. Nick is from the liquor side, if we will. He's worked for a couple different companies. And yes, the brand of Barrels and Leaves never left. It's still going to remain. It's always going to be around. That is going to be the cigar pairing site for everyone. And as far as the show is concerned, there's a new name to it. It's still Barrels and Leaves. It's still behind the brand, but it's really behind the brand global. Because thanks to my man Nick, we're taking things not only here in the United States, we're taking it global. Because he has the connections, he knows the other people on the other side of the pond, which we just did a IG live today. So you guys, please go ahead and check out Barrels and Leaves BTB on Instagram. It's also on Facebook. We're starting up the Twitter, and we're getting the TikTok going because we're going to do some fun stuff on top of there too. But yeah, this is going to be a great venture, man. No, nothing has gone away with anything that I've done. Just relocating has taken a lot of time, trying to get adjusted, get the life adjusted, get things in order so that things can go forward with the projects that I currently have. So yeah. Barrels and Leaves is not going anywhere. Barrels and Leaves BTB Global. Get ready, man. It's going to be a huge takeoff. I can't wait.
Nice. And I'll put this up in the comments.
There it is, baby.
But one of the things that because we also love doing pairing stuff, and I think it's one of the most fun things we as cigar smokers can do is because it not only is it fun because we get different flavor and aroma experiences, it's fun because then as cigar smokers in the lounge or at an event or at a gathering, it gives us something new and different to talk about. We can learn from each other, when it comes to pairing different stuff together. So kind of lately, because you mentioned that you're moving or you're reaching less and less for bourbon lately. So what are some of the pairing things that that have really been hitting for you recently that you find yourself reaching for again and again?
I'm really going towards rum. I had a chat with a good friend of mine in Jersey, and we were talking, saying, maybe rum is the way to go. I think the bourbon scene is really getting overpopulated, and it's going to be like cigars in a minute here with certain bourbons that they're not going to be able to produce as much. So there's going to be a lot of allocated bottles that are going to be going in and out. So I think that that's something that we can prepare for. So if you like a particular bourbon, go ahead and get it now. Kind of like when COVID hit, when we knew that tobacco was going to start to be limited, get your bourbons now, because I think it's going to just start to die out because there's so many different companies that are producing bourbon and they just can't produce enough. There's the barrels are only going to be able to be used so many times. So rum right now is not being as prevalent. So start paying attention to rums, good people. There's plenty of rums out there. Bacardi, believe it or not, a lot of people say, yeah, I'm not drinking Bacardi. But if you've ever had the Bacardi 8 or the Bacardi 10,
yep,
you're going to find yourself really enjoying a good rum. Of course, I love my Diplomatico, Zaya, Zacapa, of course. There's some unique rums, as Garrett brought back, Brugal. You also have Barcello, which is also a Dominican rum. Those are some fantastic rums. If you can get your hands on some of those, that's awesome. But start checking out your rum scene, everyone. It's going to be a good little takeover. Now, of course, with rum, you're going to have a little bit more of that sugar or cane kind of flavor. So there are cigars that are out there. You can start looking a little bit more towards your mild cigars, which I know I've seen here. A trend has been going to a lot of more mild cigars. So mild cigars with a nice rum can go very well. Some will contrast, but most of the time you should get a nice little complementary pairing out of them. So yeah, rum's going to be the way to go.
Yeah.
So explain to the sober guy what makes rum rum.
That's a good question.
What makes rum rum is actually it's going to come down to a couple things. One is going to be the ingredients, and then also the distillation process, right? So the rum is most of the time going to be made with some kind of a cane sugar, right? So that's where most of the flavor is going to come from. It's still going through the same distillation process as any other liquid is, but it's adding that sugar that's really going to make the difference. How much sugar, and then what the barrel is actually doing. So the char level for the barrel is really going to make a difference when it comes to rum. If you have which I don't think it is even possible, but if you have a rum that's even has a barrel char of 4, stay the hell away from it because it's going to burn the hell out of you. So, and rum is not made to do that. Rum is made to be very smooth. So you shouldn't get anything above a 3, maybe a 2 primarily. So that's really what you want to do, man. Just pay attention to, which rums are actually doing it for you. Understand the alcohol content of the rums. There are some rums that may come into probably about 35%. It's going to be rather mild. So you want to stick around right around 40. 40 is going to be a good choice for you for your alcohol.
Okay. Yeah. And this bottle that Garrett brought back, it's in a, it's just below the sweet spot, but for the extra añejo, I think it's 38%. And I think it works, and this pairing, I got to say, because a lot of times we say what grows together goes together. And this Dominican rum with this Dominican cigar, this Davidoff, which I'm sure it's got tobaccos from multiple countries, but it's still a Dominican cigar.
Right.
And it's going really nicely together. Awesome. It's the first time for me smoking this cigar, and it's ridiculous.
Stupid.
And it pairs really nicely. And I also like the, like Flor de Caña from Nicaragua and Plantation. Now, I don't like all the Plantation rums, but the XO from Plantation is good. And what is the one in the bottle with the big X on it?
Oh, Bamboo,
yeah. In their high end stuff, and like you said about Bacardi, a lot of times you'll find that even with whiskeys, it's like, okay, garden variety, bottom shelf Jim Beam, it's not great, but some of the higher end, longer aged Jim Beam products are outstanding, and some of the same with scotches. You can get an 8-year scotch from one of the high end or better known distilleries in Scotland. That's okay, but then you jump up to a 12-year and you're going to get a way better experience. And the same is true with rum. And the fact is, like it or not, it's the more you spend. Not every time, but in most cases, if you spend, if you're looking at the bottles on the shelf and you see, the same brand name on 6 different bottles, you look at the cheapest bottle from that brand, go up, don't go all the way to the top end. If you could afford it, go all the way to the top end, have fun. But if you can't afford that, just go up 1 or 2 notches and you'll be amazed. Even with Bacardi, like you said, the Bacardi 8, you'll be amazed at how much better that product is just from aging a little bit longer. And the distillers, because it's a little bit higher end product, they pay a little closer attention to it.
Listen, it's just like kids. Kids are rough around the edges when they're young. Once they start getting a little older, they start maturing a little bit more. And that still holds good into the liquid side of things. And again, it can be just the opposite, man. You can get some of the higher end stuff, and it's like, why the hell did I spend this money? When I could have spent $20 on a bottle. So it's really you just want to understand what your sweet spot is. And, like Rich said, you can get a good bottle for about $25, man. That's a good average number for some rum. And, once you start getting into the añejos and the extra añejos, like you said, Matt, is that, you start paying a little bit more and you start getting a little bit better quality, so it just depends on where you want to be, man. And me personally, I like some of the higher end shit.
Yeah.
Now, when they say spiced rum, is that like the acid of the rum world?
That's actually a really good way to put it. The acid cigars, it's kind of a good way to put it.
Listen, the spice rum. So I had the opportunity to go to St. Croix, and I did not know this. Captain Morgan is only distilled in St. Croix. There's no other location for it. It's only in St. Croix. So going through there, there's a shitty story behind that too. So I go out there and I'm thinking, hey, I'm hitting up a distillery. I'm going to Captain Morgan. What do they say? No, we don't give tours of the distillery. That was a waste of time. I spent $15 in Hastings.
Yeah.
Huh.
But let me tell you this. What I will say to the Captain Morgan's compliment is that a lot of people, from what I know, they have passed over the white rum. And that's probably one of the most flavorful spiced rums I've ever tasted. Ever. There's a lot of notes that's just playing with the palate, man. So definitely, if you give that if you get a chance, give that a shot. Sailor Jerry, Coke and lime. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But no, man. I mean, I really am loving the rum life now. It's turned into a lot of fun experimenting, trying a lot of different rums that I haven't, and getting to know that a little bit better than I'm knowing bourbons and Scotch, which I'm primarily a Scotch guy. I mean, 100%. You can't. There's not a Scotch I probably haven't tasted, but there's plenty of rum that I still haven't tasted. But yeah, man. I mean, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I like all the brown spirits, and I tend to, even when it's bourbons, especially with scotches for me, I am the biggest fan. But my favorite scotches to reach for are ones that are finished in Caribbean rum casks.
Oh,
like the Balvenie 14, what do they call it? Caribbean cask.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
if it's a scotch or a bourbon, like I'm not a huge fan of Basil Hayden's regular bourbon, but they make one that's finished in Caribbean rum, and that I'll drink every day. I love that stuff.
Dude, let me tell you, I was in San Diego. Not bar, it was lounge. I used to work at Excalibur Cigar Lounge, and we brought in the Basil Hayden Caribbean cask. We had all of them, right? And I'm known to make good old fashions. So I said, let me try this Caribbean cask by itself. And I tried it. I was like, wow, this is great. So I make an old fashioned the typical way, and it was just way too sweet.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to try something. I'm not putting any sugar in it, no simple syrup or anything. You can make an old fashioned out of that Basil Hayden Caribbean cask by itself, just bitters.
Yeah.
Just bitters.
Mm-mm. And it's just so fun to experiment because there's so much stuff out there. And actually that's what got me to, because I used to think that I hated scotch, mainly because when I was in college, somebody ordered me a scotch once and it was awful. And it probably came in a plastic bottle. I mean, this was at a towny bar in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. So it was probably like Phillips brand scotch or something that was aged for all of 35 seconds in a, in the barrel, and it was terrible. But then I started to try different things, and I tried the Balvenie aged in the Caribbean rum casks, and or it's finished. It's probably what 3 months or something.
Yep, 3 months.
And it was absolutely outstanding. Totally changed my outlook on scotch.
Yeah, and there's a lot of scotches out there that are doing that now. They're using different casks. There's Macallan even uses a sherry cask.
Yeah.
So and I'm not too crazy about that. Wine and scotch doesn't fit the palate for me very well. But yeah, some of the other ones, whenever you can get a bourbon in a rum cask, because the bourbon already has that sweet kind of note to it because of the rye and all that stuff, or the malt.
Yeah.
But yeah. You can definitely get a great bourbon finished in a Caribbean cask or rum cask any day of the week. And you can do it by itself, or if you add a couple of drops of water, what I tend to do, makes it all the better.
Yeah.
So Leo, for our viewers and listeners that indulge in the spirits, smoke cigars, give them a little taste of what they can expect from Barrels and Leaves. Why they should listen to that show, a little bit about the format and the content that you plan on launching here.
Well, Barrels and Leaves, what I really expect for people to get out of Barrels and Leaves is an understanding of what the tobacco is doing and what that liquid is doing for a palate. Now, people can always say, well, I can drink whatever I want with my cigar. And you're absolutely 100% correct. But I always try to go for what we tend to typically call the adventure, right? So the adventure is what you really want to go for. So like I always try to explain to people, what you want from a pairing is like the first time you remember walking through the gates of Disney World or Disneyland, right? The first thing you say is, wow, I'm here. I got it. Let's go get on this ride. Well, that's what each pairing should do for you. It should take you on a ride. It should take you on a journey. It should take your mouth into so many different places to where you're like, hey, I want to do this again and again and again.
That's what she said. You threw me a softball. I'm gonna swing every time.
If she said it, good for you, man.
Right?
Some people are in the miss.
Yeah. Marry that up. Yes.
But that's what I really want for people, man, is to enjoy the things that we do, is to have that tobacco, understand what that tobacco is doing to your palate, understand what that liquid is doing to your palate, and take that journey. There's some bad journeys, but then there's some good journeys, and we learn from each of those journeys. So really what I want out of Barrels and Leafs, that's what it's truly all about. Now the show, that's a little bit different. The show is really all about a little bit more of education, which is why I went out and got Nick. Nick can take you on that journey through anything that's liquid as far as our world. So scotch, bourbon, tequila, gin, all of that good stuff, So we're going to take you on a journey through that side. We're going to take you through the journey on the tobacco side as well. So the show is also going to be adding a little bit of what we like to call lifestyle. So it's going to be cigars, elixirs, and lifestyle. So lifestyle can be encompassed into a lot of different things, as we know. So it could be a travel humidor, right?
Yeah.
It can be hats. It can be watches. It can be jewelry, anything of that nature. So we're going to have a lot of different type of people on. I'm not going to throw anything out there just yet, but you guys just got to watch. We're going to have a lot of different type of people on to talk about different lifestyles and the things that they're doing. So obviously behind the brand is exactly what we're trying to do. We're going behind these brands to understand exactly what's going on with them and how we can excel them. The biggest thing about what we're really trying to do is trying to give the spotlight to some of the smaller companies that aren't getting that advertisement. And no diss to these companies I'm about to mention, such as Drew Estate or Arturo Fuente or Macallan or Balvenie. No diss to them. But there's some smaller brands that produce just as good liquids and just as good tobacco that need the exposure, and we want to make sure we give it to them.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I have to ask Garrett to try one thing, and obviously you're not going to drink it, but I want you to, because I know you like to smell the stuff that I drink. So I want you to, and I know you're also not a big retrohale guy, but this cigar is this cigar is really smooth. I want you to take a big sniff of this rum and then take a puff of the cigar and retrohale it while you've still got the scent of the rum. It'll blow your mind. This pairing is such a happy accident because I wasn't even thinking about that.
I want to answer Raul's question too, man. He said, are you going to do any non-alcoholic pairings? And I have done non-alcoholic pairings. That's always been my slogan: beer, spirits, wines, and non-alcoholic beverages. So Raul, yes, please stay tuned, and you will see some of those pairings. All right.
I told you, bro. It's just ridiculous. This is a happy accident. I wasn't even sure what cigar we were going to smoke on the show, and I went downstairs and I opened up my cabinet and I was like, "Oh yeah, these Davidoffs. Yeah, let's do that."
You okay, Garrett?
I'm having a moment.
Is that what she said?
May or may not have a wet spot.
I don't want to know either way.
Woo!
Wow, I got to try that.
That was fantastic,
man.
Fantastic.
So one of the things, and I honestly, I think I may have asked you this before, but I don't remember. Have you ever done anything with barrel picks?
You know what? That's always been something I wanted to do. I was in the thought process of working on that with Nick.
Real quick. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
For the uninitiated, can you tell me what a barrel pick is?
Well, it's kind of just. I'll let Leo answer. It's kind of just like it sounds.
Yeah. So basically, you want to create a bourbon or a scotch or what have you, right? So these distilleries, they already have the barrels that the liquid is going to go into. So they have different barrels. The one may be an Armagnac, one may be straight bourbon, one may be a rye or what have you, right? So you're going to say, hey, you know what? I want to try this liquid. So let's just use Balvenie as an example. So Balvenie has a lot of different, like Matt was talking about. They may make one with a sherry or not sherry, excuse me, rum, right? So there's some picks that are in there. So you can say, I want one with Armagnac, I want one with rum. I want one with what have you. So you say, hey, I want to mix these two together so that this is one barrel pick that I created.
Oh,
Essentially,
it's
that's
like a blend. You're
like
basically
a
creating
blend.
your own blend.
That's correct, sir.
Well, yeah, and that's one part of it. But another part of it is you can go to one of the big distilleries in Kentucky, or even MGP in Indiana, and you can go around and because they'll put the same distillate.
Yep.
You know, in the bourbon distilleries, they'll put the same distillate in a bunch of different barrels, and for American bourbon, it's going to be a barrel that's never had booze in it before. At least for the main aging process, it'll be a freshly charred new oak barrel. They'll put the distillate in there and they'll put it on the shelves to start aging. And then you can go and tour one of these distilleries. And if you have the money up front, you say, I want to do a barrel pick, and you can go around and you can sample from a dozen, maybe 24 different barrels, and you pick the one that tastes just right to you. And then you set that aside and let it age longer.
Oh, wow.
And then you go back and you check it again. And then you say, yep, that's tasting just the way I wanted it to. And then, but you have to buy that whole barrel, and it is not cheap.
No. Looking at a couple grand.
Yeah. But a lot of times, it happens every day in the States and in Europe, even, where liquor stores will say, hey, we got a new barrel pick from Buffalo Trace, or we got a new barrel pick from Stellum, or we got a new barrel pick from Four Roses, or something like that.
I bet that's what. So I was hanging out with the Black Star Line guys, and we went to this restaurant, and one of the guys is a member at this restaurant, and he said, I'd like my barrel, and they brought him out his barrel.
Was it just a little?
It was just a little.
Well, that's different, but it's still kind of along the same lines.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you go to a distillery and pick a barrel, you're picking a full size.
Okay. Yeah.
And you get what? It's hundreds of bottles, that would typically sell anywhere between, $75 and $150 a pop.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but I know that you should be able to get about, if I'm correct, Nick can probably tell me better. I think you should be able to get 15 cases. So 12 times 15, right roughly around there. So, but yeah, that's it's definitely something I have thought about. People have asked me, hey, you're going to create a cigar. That's something that I've thought about. So there's a lot of things that I want to do with barrels and leaves. Can't let any cats out of the bag. But there are things that I'm working on. But barrel pick is something I have thought about, and Nick and I actually sat probably a couple weeks ago and talked about it. So, yeah, look,
Garrett's having another moment. So
hey,
Vanessa had a great suggestion. Garrett said, "Smell the rum again with your mouth open," and that's true. If you smell
right,
because it does. Basically, it opens all this up. Everything's.
Another fun thing to do too is whatever hand that you're dominant. So if you're right hand, smell with your left nostril. You get more of the flavors.
Interesting.
Oh.
And I do want to say this, that, I will have 28 years sober on March 20th. And
congratulations, brother.
Yeah. Cheers to that. That's a big deal.
Well, and
that means that's meaningful, man.
It's trust me, it's more about community and God and a lot of other things than me. Because if it was up to me, I'd probably be in jail or dead. But I don't necessarily recommend those who consider themselves to be alcoholics or addicts to do what I do.
Yeah.
And some may, say that I'm playing with fire, and I will say this, that I enjoy that flavor and what it brings. It does absolutely, there is no thought in my mind where I want to actually drink this. It's another flavor experience for me that I have felt safe doing without, it's not a trigger for me. So
yeah, but for those of you out there who live with addiction, we do not want to put you in harm's way. We don't recommend that you put your nose anywhere near booze or anything like that.
Never. Yep. I would never do that. That's one of the reasons why I actually do pairings with non-alcoholic beverages, which is very funny that Raul asked that, because I have people in my circle that say, hey, I don't drink anymore. You know, I've been clean for XYZ amount of years. That's what made me start doing non-alcoholic pairings, because I never would have thought about it. And, you know, even, you know, non-alcoholic pairings even goes into, you know, coffees. There's some non-alcoholic beverages that are actually on the shelves. You know, so there's a lot of things that's out there. And I forgot who put that last statement up, that Irish whiskey. I literally just looked into a place, a company called Keeper's Heart, and they are actually out of that distillery. So
they're out of Minnesota.
I'm trying to get my hands on that. You also brought up something, Matt, too, that Indiana distillery, Wolf Moon.
Wolf Moon. Okay. That's not a familiar term to me.
Bro, that is a great bourbon.
Okay. I got to check that out.
Great bourbon right there in your backyard, man.
Okay.
Wolf Moon.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Well, I got to ask Garrett this.
Okay.
Is it time?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I think it is time.
It is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. And as always, Numero de los Muertos brought to us by our friends at Smoke Inn.
Honest Abe here from Smoke Inn Cigars. It is that time of year again, the Great Smoke 2023 Mardi Gras Madness. Whether you're coming down live or going to be enjoying the event from the comfort of your own home, your ticket price includes this epic package. It's one of our greatest Great Smoke packages in the history of this event. Over $400 worth of product and great swag for the low cost of $165. Do not hesitate. Tickets are selling this year faster than ever. Go to www.thegreatsmoke.com and get your live general admission ticket, your virtual ticket if you're going to enjoy from home, and tickets for either the dinner or the brunch. Epic time. We can't wait to see you all there. The Great Smoke 2023. Mardi Gras Madness.
All right. Numero de los Muertos, episode 195. Garrett, what do you have for us this week?
This is just wrong. I'm sorry, Leo, ahead of time for this one. So,
all right.
I was 2 years old when this person fell 15 feet into this and died. That's what you get for right now.
That's all we get.
That's all you get for right now.
We get one person.
Yes.
Who fell into a thing and died.
Yeah.
So obviously the elephant in the room is not a well.
Correct.
And it's not a pool.
It is not a pool.
All right. As always, viewers on Facebook and YouTube, leave your guesses in the comments. And we're going to try to figure out what this person fell into.
Definitely not food related.
Oh, it's not food related.
I mean, you're pretty old if you fell into a pyramid, right?
Dude, that's a dick guess. When I was 2 years old, really?
They were being built around that time, weren't they?
Totally.
Yeah. Maybe the pyramid in Las Vegas.
Me and Tut, you know,
and Tut, we go way back.
I mean, I was thinking Cleopatra, you know.
Oh, Cleopatra, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
So I don't want to steal thunder from him, but it seems like too obvious of an answer. It's not a barrel, is it?
It is not.
Okay.
I was 2 years old.
I was 2 years old.
Oh, you? Okay. All right.
I was.
So 1980?
Mm-hmm.
You were born in 78, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So 1980.
Yep.
He's so young, born in 1978.
1980.
Fell into a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in the U.S.?
It was in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Is it medical related?
Mm-mm.
You fell into it and died.
Mm-hmm.
this thing that they fell into, would it be considered a workplace accident?
Yes. It is not a water tank.
Is it in the water?
There was water. There is water in it.
Was it at a distillery?
Mm-mm.
Is it a sand pit?
No.
Ooh.
Chemical vat is getting closer.
Chemical vat, closer. Is it related to farming?
No. I'm gonna need help.
Mash tun, which would be in a distillery.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Chemical vat is close. So
Closer.
Rich is closer. So Rich is sort of on the right track. Chemical.
So this person was carrying out maintenance work and fell off the catwalk into this.
Maintenance work.
Yeah.
Catwalk. I think catwalk. I think theater.
On the catwalk.
No, the catwalk above where they hang the lights and shit like that. Not that kind of cat, not the kind of catwalk you're thinking. Not the work it.
Mm-hmm. I do my little turn on the catwalk.
Anything to do with paint?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Tom Darling says molten steel crucible.
Oh God,
That would be brutal. What a way to go.
Yeah.
That's not it, but gives me ideas for. That's why I love this episode.
Was it concrete?
No, not a fermenter tank. Nothing to do with spirits or any of that.
That's my man Nick. See, he's always thinking liquor.
Was it well, you said it's not food related, so it wasn't
Correct.
a food production facility like a dairy.
Nope.
Chemical, was it like a chemical production plant?
Mm-mm.
Was it nuclear related?
Mm-mm. Oh, that was
Does it make something chemical?
no.
This only happened one time.
Well, this is just one person.
Just
I
one
don't know if other people have died from this, but it was a semi famous thing in 1980 because this person also worked as the mayor of this small town.
Was it the volcano?
Mm-mm.
Mount St. Helens?
No,
That would have because that was
because
around,
that was about 1980. Yeah,
well, I
you're
think,
right.
yeah, it was around that time.
What's the geographical location in the U.S.?
Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
So I have given enough for those who are going to cheat and go to Google.
Oh, sewer plant.
That's it.
Is that it?
That
Wow.
is it.
Damn.
Oh.
Wow.
Monica Mayers, the mayor of Betterton, Maryland, was carrying out maintenance work around the sewage tanks at the town's largest municipal facility. According to the Lawrence Journal World, Mayers fell 4 feet from the catwalks. Oh, sorry. She fell 4 feet into the catwalks into a 15-foot aeration tank filled with human waste, which a deputy in the town's police department described as having the consistency of putty. Her body was found floating face down.
Face down.
Oh,
What a way to go.
face down, ass
That's
up.
a what a shitty way to go.
Yeah, Justin's got a joke.
Yes.
What a shitty way to go. There is a rim shot sound effect on there somewhere, but I don't
I'm
remember
not
which
gonna
button
try
it
to
is.
find it right now.
Oh,
So it's funny because when I was in college, when Amy and I first started, we first started dating
In 1980.
No. And I was 9, so no. No, but later in early mid 90s, Amy and I started dating, and during college, I worked also at construction for a company that in this little town of Menominee, Wisconsin, was rebuilding the local wastewater treatment plant. And we were rebuilding some of the facilities and adding on new facilities. And I can tell you from seeing some of these tanks operate and all, and some of them that had been shut down, but we had to disassemble and clean out and tear out in some places so we could pour new concrete and put in new tanks and all this, that some of the facilities in there would make your head spin. And just being in the same 3-block radius as that facility. And this is a small town. This isn't like a big city wastewater treatment plant. It was terrible. It was no fun to be around. So I cannot imagine falling into one of those tanks, because the consistency of the materials in some of those tanks, you're never getting out of that.
Right.
Listen, that's the way I felt going into the channel into Korea. Like shit.
Yeah.
So you're saying don't go jump in my septic hole at home and try this out?
I would not.
Okay.
I would not. I would avoid. Avoid that.
Hire the professionals.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Let them come pump it out. Yeah. Don't go anywhere near that.
Pump it out. That's what she said.
Oh, pump it out. That's what she said. Well, that's not what she said, because she died.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Got him.
All right. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos.
And it was disgusting. You're welcome.
It was one of the most disgusting numeros of all time. All right, let's jump into the lightning round. The lightning round brought to us by J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and the American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 112-year-old El Reloj cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right, so we have, because I know Leo's been on the show a couple times, we got some fresh, new lightning round questions.
Yes.
So, Leo, if you're at a cigar club one night and it just happens to be karaoke night, what's the one song you're going to pick? If you're forced to get up and sing, or even if you want to get up and sing, what's the one song you pick?
Ice Ice Baby.
Damn it. You know, man, that's a tough one, man. You know, I'm I'm an Ice Cube fan.
Ooh.
Good day.
I like Luther Vandross.
Mm.
I like the Carpenters.
Oh, yeah.
Geez, this is tough, man. I don't know. You know, I mean, it's always good to start the day off right. You know, I always say thank God every day I wake up. So, you know, I'd probably, if anything, I want to sing It's a Beautiful Morning.
Oh, love that.
There you go.
Love that.
Did I just hit a nerve? It looked like you had a moment again.
I did.
Yeah. He's totally in there now.
So this is three in one show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, he's emotional.
Yeah,
Really
I am.
emotional.
I am emotional.
I get so emotional, baby. I couldn't resist.
No, I love it.
Go ahead, Whitty Hutton.
No, I could not even carry her water.
So I got one for you guys. Whenever you guys want to wrap this up, I got one for you guys.
Oh, hit us with it now.
Hit it.
All right. Tupac or Biggie?
Oh,
Biggie.
That was
Because
quick.
I'm East Coast.
Oh, man.
Wow.
So
And you know what it is?
I have a really hard time with this
It's
question.
the lineage of Biggie, because it's it's Rakim and it's Grandmaster Flash. Without those two, there is no Biggie.
Oh, I have a hard time with okay, so I'm gonna cop out and I'm gonna break this down a little bit. So for pure showmanship and absolutely owning a crowd, Tupac.
Yeah.
For lyrical craft and delivery, Biggie.
Hands down. I got you.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with you there.
But the way I never did get to see him live, but seeing footage of Tupac playing a crowd,
oh my god,
at a live show, one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah,
agreed.
Or even that little. Have you guys seen that when they're when they were both cool with each other and they're in the back of that club and they're freestyling?
Yeah.
Like that's legendary.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to get anything like that. Ever.
No, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Like, oh my gosh, I love it.
All right, so Matt Ty would like to answer the Pluma. No. Oh, you people always bring up the subject that makes me want to chew glass. Oh, that's all right. You are forgiven, Tony. You're forgiven. It's okay. All right, so Leo, if you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, and you cannot say money, time, or cigars, what would it be?
In all honesty, it'd be my daughter.
Oh,
that's the number one thing. I mean, she's the love of my life. If I could have her forever, that means that I'm around forever. Let's just grow and have fun.
Dope. Great answer.
It's a better answer than I've ever heard. I love that answer. I'm getting choked up now.
Oh man, come on! I didn't mean to go there with you.
No. It's hey, if somebody starts talking about their kids, it makes me think about my kids, and it just hits me. So it's all good. It's all
Gotta
good.
be great dads, man. That's all it is.
All right, Leo. The zombies are coming. Okay.
AK-47.
We're going a little bit different road here. So you get 3 draft picks from the cigar industry to be on your zombie apocalypse survival team. Who do you choose and why?
3 picks out of the cigar world.
You know what? And I'm going to open it up to the spirit world as well. To the spirits. Spirit world.
The spirit world?
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Also, yeah, so spirits and cigars. I don't know if you know anybody in the spirits world or, whatever, but
I'm going to go. So you asked why as well. So I'm going to go with my man, Eric from Black Star Line Cigars.
Love Eric Bay.
The reason why is because Eric is quick on his feet. He can think.
Smart.
And he's also going to be somebody who can guide, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody who's going to take a hit for the team.
Yep. Sacrificial lamb. You got to have it.
So, yeah, this is going to sound bad, whoever I damn say.
We have one every week.
God, I got to think, man. Take one for the team. Damn, this is going to sound bad. I might have to go with Carlito. No disrespect, Carlito. I know you might see this. No disrespect.
I love it.
But, it's kind of like in the military. You put the younger guys out there so that the older guys can still think. I need the older guy out there on this one so that we can still run.
I'm
sorry.
Hey, strategy. I get it.
I love Carlito. I really do.
Yeah.
The third one, I would need somebody who can handle themselves.
You need guidance.
Yeah, I need somebody who can handle themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody feisty enough. I'd have to go with a female. which
Love
actually Lenora would be from Nova.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Leo.
Yeah, she's feisty.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what? That may be the very first woman,
I think it is.
selected.
I think it is.
and we're pieces of shit for not even.
I'm not
thinking-
mad at that.
I am not at all.
I'm not mad at that pick.
Fucking
No,
great.
she's feisty as hell, man. You know,
Yeah, she is.
I love the way she talks. You know, she's very strong in how she talks.
Yep.
She's meaningful by everything that she says. She believes in everything that she's putting out there.
Yep.
You need somebody like that. And I'm sure if I put a gun in her hand, I say, "Hey, point it this way," she's gonna go at it.
Yeah.
When she's infectious too, like her
Yes.
energy and everything. Like I love that pick, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Damn.
All right. Let's jump into this week's notable smokables brought to you by Luciano Cigars. Notable cigars, notable passion, notable purpose. So Leo, you probably remember this. Each week we name a cigar that we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that's been on the market for decades that we just revisited for the first time in a long time, or something brand new to the market that we smoked for the first time ever. So what did you smoke recently, Leo, that was notable to you?
Be honest with you, what I'm smoking now, the Lampert. God, it's almost kind of like a tie. I hate to do this, but I really do. I went to revisit the Oliva, Connecticut, and man, just absolutely phenomenal. And you want to talk about pairing with a rum, that's one to do it with.
Okay.
Yeah, but this Lampert, man, I mean, I'm smoking this one down on my fingertips. Normally by now I'd let the cigar go, but it's not burning. You know, it's not burning the lips, not burning any of the fingers or anything like that. So I'm gonna keep smoking, man, because it's really enjoyable. It's nice and earthy. It has a little bit of a spice to it, but very easy to smoke. Input is very easy. Nice aroma. So I like this one. I really do.
Nice. Garrett, what was your notable this week?
We're gonna say undisclosed.
That's cheating.
So we
Give us the blend.
we
Can't tell us that
undisclosed. But I just want to tell you guys about this this tour that we had at La Aurora. Okay. This is that is Eugene, and Eugene's job at La Aurora is just giving tours. Okay.
either. Oh, right on.
Now, Eugene told us more about how to be cool with a cigar and where to hold it in your mouth and how to walk with it with swagger with your shoulders back.
He's a cigar stylist.
Bro, this as we're walking through the factory, any woman that would be walking by, he would be like, "Hey, baby," or "Hey, mommy." And you know, like he was that kind of guy, and he just had the swagger. And yeah, he would tell us about, you know, the rolling process, and you know, the stripping of the veins, and the you know, sorting of tobacco, and the aging, and all of this stuff. But in between all of those, he'd be, guys, listen, when you walk with a cigar, you got to do it with purpose.
With purpose.
Do you think Al Capone walked around like this? No, he had it like this. It was the fucking best.
Oh, that's good.
So it was a cigar that you know, we were having on this tour. We were all smoking it, and it was just listening to this guy was fantastic. So great memory. Good cigar, and just the whole thing was awesome.
Very nice. My notable this week was one that it had been a while, at least a year, I want to say, since I've had one of these, and that was the Jacob's Ladder from Southern Draw. Smoked that yesterday for the first time in a while, and it's still one of the most powerful, richest, thickest, heaviest cigars out there on the market.
Did it even touch your shake at all? Did it even enter into your
No.
this? Yeah, I know. Whatever.
No.
Fuck you.
No, I didn't.
Gosh,
I
damn
don't.
it.
I just don't. I don't get. But I mean, I get the power from it, but the power doesn't like affect me.
Right.
I'm a weird. Don't go off of my experience because I'm just weird.
I have to eat a full meal and have an insulin shot to.
It was my second
enjoy.
cigar of the day. I lit it up at about 11 a.m. and all I had that morning was like a strawberry Danish or something. It was just no big deal. That's just, I'm weird. Don't go based on me.
Yep.
So that was this week's Notable Smokable, brought to us by Luciano Cigars, improving lives through fine cigars. Please visit lucianocigars.com to learn more. So, coming attractions for How About That Cigar Live, brought to you by AJ Fernandez. Born and raised in Cuba, AJ Fernandez now produces unparalleled premium cigars in Esteli, Nicaragua. The AJ Fernandez portfolio of cigars provides blend, strength, and flavor profiles to match the preferences of any premium cigar consumer. Whether it's New World, Dias de Gloria, San Latano, Enclave, or Bellas Artes, you are sure to be satisfied with a premium cigar from AJ Fernandez. So we are still working on a guest for next week's show, but I do want to let you guys know two things. One, please go back, like we've already said a couple times, please go back and check our YouTube channel and our Facebook page for the coverage that we had from the TPE trade show a few weeks ago. A lot of great interviews and great stuff that we learned from people at that trade show. So check that out. But I do want to let you know that coming up, this one's actually coming up in a few weeks, but on April 3rd, we are going to have Indiana Ortez on the show. She has a very cool new venture starting out on her own. She's got a great family lineage. She is one of the brightest, most energetic, most knowledgeable young people in the cigar industry. She has a rock star future ahead of her. So we're very excited to talk to her coming up on April 3rd. But stay tuned to Facebook and YouTube so you guys know what's coming up on next week's show. Because we definitely will be doing that. Is the Matt Tai this is the
so
this, and we haven't even talked about this. That was a very awkward, weird thing so
just
let
it happen.
Tell people about this tobacco plant in the DR.
So I saw this beautiful tobacco plant at the Don Doroteo farm, and it is a Criollo 98 crop this year. And this plant just looked beautiful. And I was like, you know what? That plant, I'm going to name that plant Matt Tai. just randomly. That's what happened.
But you didn't just do that. You put it on video on the internet.
I did.
For all the world to see.
Everybody
and you
tagged
me.
I did.
Don't at me, bro.
Dude.
No, I messed up.
And I will be getting a updated photo tomorrow. So Aaron will be at the farm and we'll see if Matt Tai has been harvested anymore, because the Velado was harvested. It was also
it was
topped.
Yeah. So the flowers, I was deflowered.
You were deflowered.
I got
snipped.
Justin says I got snipped. I did get snipped.
Just the tip.
Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
And then the Velado. So the Velado are the they typically never make it into production
because they're right along the ground.
They're right along the ground.
Yeah.
And typically what they do is they just cut them off and leave them there on the ground to help ferment the ground.
Yeah. And so those leaves don't steal nutrients from the rest of the plant.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yep, Matt's Velado is gone.
So yeah, gone. I lost my Velado.
You did.
Hey, it happens. I'm almost 52.
Right.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
You know.
Oh my God.
Oh, so all right. So yeah, we like we said, guys, we have some very cool stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Leo, if you would please remind our viewers and listeners where is the best place for them to keep up with everything you have going on.
Check everything out on Barrels and Leafs across the board, any social media. You can also catch us as doing our show, Barrels and Leafs, BTB, Globe. You can find us right now. Again, we are putting up a Twitter, and we also have a Facebook page as well, which our show will also be tuned into, not tuned into, but can be tuned into Facebook and also YouTube. So look for that. Probably looking at about the 1st of April. We do have something coming up this week, Thursday and Friday. anyone in the Atlanta area wants to come out to Cheetah's Gentleman Club, we'll be there for the NCAA tournament, and looking forward to doing something hopefully soon. We'll also have HL Cigar Co. on as well.
Dope.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, Leo, always a pleasure talking to you, brother. We learn a lot when you're on, and we appreciate your time so much, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys as always. Always here to support you guys, whatever I can do. And make sure you guys tell a friend, tell a family.
Yes, sir.
How about that cigar? How about that cigar?
Thank you, my friend.
Appreciate you.
Viewers and listeners, guys, thank you so much for being the best part of How About That Cigar Live. We could not do it without you. We appreciate it so much. Make sure to take a second and subscribe to the YouTube channel and like and follow on Facebook. All of those things that you click on, please make sure and do that. And if you're listening on the audio podcast, thanks again for listening. Be sure to rate the podcast and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. Follow us on all social media at HBT Cigar. If you have questions for us, you can email us on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
Not bridges.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.